It's about damn time. It's about damn time.
You right, LeBron. It is about damn time. That Dame time has finally come to his senses and has requested a trade from the Portland TrailBlazers. After years upon years of remaining loyal to the soil, Dame has finally decided to run from the grind. Seems a little bit hypocritical to me, but hey, entering this season, as Dame put it himself, the healthiest he's been in a while, and after putting together the best season of his career, dropping his career high 71 points, which is actually tied for the 5th most points scored in a game by a player in the history of the game. On top of that, he surpassed arguably the greatest Portland TrailBlazer currently, Clyde Drexler, the Glide, for the most points in the organization's history. But if you're looking big picture, none of that actually matters, because the TrailBlazers ultimately failed to grab a top 10 seed to even make the play-in tournament. Part of that has to do with Dame dealing with the calf injury, but whether it was with Dame in the lineup or not, the TrailBlazers most nights just didn't have enough. Lillard has run out of patience due to the organization's inability to surround Dame with a competitive and competent roster. He's decided that enough is enough and that's the last straw. It's obvious that Dame still has way more than a lot left in the tank. I mean, the man just averaged 32 points per damn game and is still one of the top 5 point guards in the league no matter how you look at it. Not one to stick around for the rebuild or waste the remaining years of his prime playing on a rebuilding roster full of young guns, Damian Lillard has finally decided that his time in Portland is up. Before we get back to the video, man, just real quick, be sure to drop a thumbs up on this video if you're feeling it. Hit that subscribe button, it helps the channel out a ton, and even turn on post notifications to know when we drop videos over here on Self Check. Let's get back to the video. Loyalty in the NBA is dead. Has been for a while now, and honestly, unless a player is drafted to the absolute most ideal situation, staying loyal nowadays in the NBA unfortunately will get a player nowhere. Or a player could do right by organization, give the franchise everything that they've got, only for the franchise at the end of the day to not do right by them, and then that player ends up getting screwed over, because at the end of the day, the NBA is still a business. You could be a franchise staple like DeMar DeRozan or Blake Griffin, or a Hall of Fame level player like Paul Pierce, or you could even be an all-time great player like Scottie Pippen or Hakeem Olajuwon. All of these players were pillars on their respective team, and once the franchise felt like their time was up and no longer felt like their contributions or productivity was useful, they were traded. If you really want to know just how much of a dirty game the NBA can be at times when it comes to trading away players, feel free to ask Isaiah Thomas. I, for one, am not really big on super teams in the NBA. Of course, players want to repay the franchises that drafted them by winning them a championship, but you need a lot of things to work in your favor to do so, and most of the time, it just doesn't happen that way. Dame has done all he could, in my opinion, with what he's had to work with. In 2019, that team made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals, and yeah, I know there was no KD and it was basically CJ and Dame up against Klay and Steph, but I still think the surrounding parts around the Warriors were way better than what the Portland TrailBlazers had. Following that season, every team that the Portland TrailBlazers has put together since 2019 just hasn't been able to reach the same level that 2019 squad was on that year. The TrailBlazers honestly just have bad luck when it comes to keeping their franchise players. The 3 greatest players in the history of the franchise have all asked out and requested trade. Bill Walton asked out and requested a trade after he had won MVP. The team wasn't handling injuries properly. If they did handle it properly, who knows what could have happened with Bill Walton. Clyde Drexler had asked out after he had made 2 trips to the final. But by the time he had asked out, the team wasn't the same. They was falling out of contention, was looking to embrace the youth movement, while their star players still had a lot of bite left. Sound familiar? Sounds like the same situation Damian Lillard is in. So now, do the Portland TrailBlazers do for Damian Lillard what they did for Clyde Drexler and honor his trade request to his preferred destination after all he's done for the team? Has Lillard done enough for the franchise to where he's gained a type of cachet? Like I said, at least Clyde Drexler took the team to the finals twice. For all those years of remaining loyal pay off, will Lillard be the next star player to find out that at the end of the day, the NBA is still a business? Dame Dollar has made it crystal clear that his preferred destination is the Miami Heat, and that he'll stop at nothing until he gets to drop an EP with DJ Khaled. Dame really expects us to believe that him being on live with Welcome to Miami playing in the background was just a coincidence. Hey man, somebody tell Dame I was born at night, not last night. Coming off a trip to the NBA Finals, it would make sense that the Heat are an attractive destination for players. On top of the simple fact that it's Miami, Florida. If and once a trade for Dame were to be done, whatever is left on that roster may not even be enough to get back to the finals, if we being honest. Not to mention, a few of those key guys from last season's playoff run found themselves on new squads and on new deals. I know the Miami Heat are Dame Dollar's preferred destination, but in my opinion, they're not even close to his best option. If we're talking about immediate immediately trying to contend for a championship. Potential trade packages have been pieced together and floated around in different scenarios if the TrailBlazers want to do what was best for the franchise instead and accept whatever trade sets them up the most for life after Lillard. I've seen a potential trade package for Dame from just about every team in the Atlantic Division except the Sixers, and I'm pretty sure they themselves could put together a pretty good package for Dame. From the Raptors, pairing up Dame with Siakam in the 6 would be cool, and Dame might even get a discount on a Drake feature. But after the Raptors give up that, what's left? From the Knicks, but the way Brunson balled out, I think the Knicks have their guy at point guard, plus a backcourt of Brunson and Lillard easily is getting up 120 a night, and Tom Thibodeau gonna lose the rest of that hair up top. Dame to the Nets could be interesting, especially the way Brooklyn Bridges burst onto the scene after the KD trade. Pairing up Dame with Bridges, Johnson, Claxton, and surrounding them with some solid role players could be a good team, but I don't think they would be in that championship contention tier with Milwaukee and the other team who might be able to put a deal together for Dame. A rival to the Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics. Even though Lillard has said on live that he cool on Boston, the duo of Tatum and Lillard would do damage alone just by themselves and would be one of the best duos in the game. But we're talking about surrounding with a crew of Porzingis, Robert Williams, Al Horford, Brogdon. And I think if you were to do that, they'd be a lot to make the conference finals again, no question. With the added firepower of Dame Dollar, they might even be able to do what they did in the 2022 season, and that's make the NBA Finals. As of now, the TrailBlazers are saying that they're willing to play the waiting game, and if it takes months to get the right deal for Dame, then so be it. It takes months. Lillard's attempt to get traded to the Heat becomes even more complicated because the main asset going back to Portland from Miami is Tyler Hero, who the Blazers are saying that they have no interest in at all. The relationship between the front office and Dame has to be at least a little rocky at this point, you would think. I think it's best that the team follows through and tries to settle on a deal for Dame. The last thing you want is a disgruntled superstar who doesn't want to be there and might not even play hard for your team no more. The TrailBlazers, if Dame is ultimately traded away, have some young building blocks to move the rebuild forward with. When the Blazers drafted Scoot, instead of trading a pick for a veteran player like Lillard wanted, it felt like the Blazers are basically saying, hey, we gotta do what's best for us, not you. And it was the first stepping stone, and Lillard ultimately requesting the trade. And I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all. Scoot honestly may be the most NBA ready prospect in this draft class, and yes, more so than Wemby. Physically, he's got all the tools you want from a starting guard. Strong, quick, good change of pace, wants to compete, and the mid-range game is already looking solid. Once that 3-ball comes along, oh boy, good luck guarding that dude, man. And the reason why I feel like the Blazers don't want Hero, Anthony Simons, who's definitely got a ton of game and who grew up a ton during Dame's absence with the calf injury. Not to mention, the guy can shoot the hell out of the ball, a career 39% shooter from 3. So I'm assuming he'll have no problem gelling next to Scoot if Scoot is pushing point and Ant is playing off ball. Similar to, but not quite on the same level as Scoot, Anthony possesses crazy speed and bounce. And if you're not careful, either one of these dudes will punch it on you. Speaking of punching it on you, they still got Shaedon Sharpe, who if that offensive rebound goes up, you better make sure you hit to where he is, because you might end up on a screensaver. He's not just a dunker. You could tell during Summer League he's been putting in that work to expand his game. So you have an explosive, dynamic backcourt who can beat that man off the bounce and get to the cup almost every time down the floor. Now you just need the guys surrounding him to knock down their shots from the outside, like Mr. 160, Shaedon Sharpe, Chris Murray. Especially if Chris Murray can shoot like his brother Keegan, Blazers gonna be alright. Honestly, Portland might want to fully embrace the rebuild and trade Dame, especially if you can get a really good potential all-star type of young player that's under 25 or 26 and some picks. If I'm the Portland TrailBlazers, I really consider doing that deal. If you make the right trade and strike gold with that deal, the Blazers could see themselves being right back competitive again in the next handful of years, just like they never left. Whether or not Damian Lillard is going to be traded or not, it's still up in the air. And as of right now, it's been a little over a month and nothing has transpired. With loyalty and staying solid being a thing of the past, and now player empowerment being all the rage these days, as the days go by, it slowly feels like a resolution to this dragged out Damian Lillard saga will eventually come to fruition. It's just a matter of the clock winding down, because to me, it just feels as if Damian Lillard's time as a Portland TrailBlazer is up.